Hello, dreamers. Hi.
Hey.
Welcome to this week's episode of Cherish, Live, and Dream. I am your host, YaYa.
And I am your host, Jay.
And we are your hope dealers. So listen, guys, gals, cousins, cousinettes, family, and friends. This week's topic is one that has been long overdue. And it is a weight lifted.
Mm-hmm.
So this week's topic is a weight lifted. So I am going to share, which should not come as a surprise to anyone,
Because she always sharing.
about a weight that has recently been lifted in my life.
Yes.
So, guys and gals, I had a situation with previous employment where I, in my opinion, was falsely accused of doing something that I would not have done, or will not do rather, in a million years when it comes to caring for an individual. So, to give you a little background, my career has basically been working with individuals who are underserved, and primarily with folks that have disabilities. So, of course, with that, you really have to be that person's voice, that person's advocate, so forth and so on, so that they could get the services that they need and that they are safe. And so I'm all about that, not only professionally, but personally, regardless of whatever or whomever. So, unfortunately, actually, well, we'll get to that. So, unfortunately, something went down in my previous employment, and I was actually on vacation. Thank you. I was actually on vacation when said incident happened, and the information that was given to me while I was on vacation was passed on to the individual that was covering while I was out. Now, while in my mind I'm doing what is right, it backfired. And so, long story short, which is really not a short story, but I'm trying to, in the interest of time, the investigation, they did an internal investigation. And with that, to my surprise, they found that I was so-called guilty of what happened. And I wasn't even there, folks. So my role at this particular place of employment was supervisor. So I was program manager, really doing programming and administrative oversight. So I didn't have any involvement really in direct care. There were folks under me that handled that. But of course, I guess since it was under my supervision, I guess they felt that I was also responsible. So anyway, long story short, I keep saying long story short, I'm so sorry. Their internal investigation found me to be guilty. I said, what in the father? You guys spilling the word. Because I didn't say father. Is going on, because I would never in a million years allow an individual to be harmed. So whatever internal investigation that they did, it was substantiated. So when it is substantiated at that particular level, it has to be reported to the state of North Carolina. So I made the decision after, of course, speaking to my pastor, because I really appreciate his guidance.
Mhm.
But at the end of the day, of course, the decision is mine, and he respects that. So after speaking with him, I had decided when all of that was going down to just separate from that job. And actually, when I separated, there was a weight lifted, because that was a very stressful job, and it really wasn't conducive to a person that's a single mom, because it was a particular job where you would be on call, you would have to leave at the drop of a dime if something happened. And in my particular situation, I really didn't have like even though I have a village and a support system. Oh girl, we got this. This ain't going nowhere.
I mean, you hit it, so I just had to look. I'm worried about the equipment. Because you always about to tear apart
Y'all,
equipment.
every week I'll be about to tear up this equipment that we done prayed and cried over, people. Anyway, so even before this whole situation went down, I was looking for a different job because I knew it wasn't going to work for me in the long run. So fast forward, they do an internal investigation. They say I'm guilty, or they substantiate it rather. Send it on to the state. I'm like, oh my God, Lord, what's going on? I'm looking out the window, about to slide down. I'm so dramatic. Like, Lord, what is to become of me? And guys, listen, and I'm only saying this not to boast, but I've been blessed to go to two of the best universities in the world. University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, and I also went to NYU, New York University.
There you go.
And I'm like, God, like, what is going on? Like, I've been in this field for over 20 years. My first priority to the folks that I've served is the folks that I've served. I would never knowingly allow anything to happen to these individuals. So after I came to myself, I said, I promise you guys, it was like I don't know and this is for the believers, because Jay and I, we're Christians. We believe God is living and Jesus Christ is real. So it was like this little small still voice that said, separate from the job, leave now. I'm like, what?
You better listen.
I got bills. Can you pay my bills? Can you pay my telephone bills? Can you pay my automobile? Okay, so anyway, Destiny's Child.
Beyonce.
I said, and didn't have a plan, guys. So separated from the job. I was like, ooh, should I separate on my own or get fired? In hindsight, I wish I would have got fired, because I would have had access to these pandemic.
But that wasn't the Lord's will.
Yes, these pandemic benefits.
That
anyway.
wasn't his plan.
So I'm calculating my head what's in savings, how much I have with the job as far as vacation, PTO. And I was like, okay, Lord, I'm going to do this. Let them know, hey, I'm going to resign. They didn't even allow me to work out my notice. They said, basically, don't come back. So I really felt betrayed. I really felt like, because the job I had was a hard job. I mean, I had sleepless nights, trying to meet goals and things like that. And so to have this happen, I was devastated. So if it went to the state, didn't hear anything from the state, and then you can actually go online and check if you're like on the state registry or whatever. So I had been checking and it wasn't there. So I was like, okay, well, maybe, So then months later, I get a letter from the state saying, I'm up under investigation. Of course, I slide down the wall again. I'm like, Lord, what is happening? I'm not going to, what is going on? So I bless God for the investigator that I had, because she was very thorough. I mean, thorough. I mean, she would call and ask questions, and I think I was kind of frustrated, because I'm like, listen, and she doesn't know me from,
from Adam.
Yeah, so of course she needs to do a job. So then, we go back and forth for a few months or whatever. And then yesterday, guys, I promise you. I was like, okay, God, I don't think I can take anymore. And then I get this call on my phone and I answer it, and it's the investigator. And she says, you know, the investigation was complete. They found that basically I wasn't at fault. They're not going to substantiate the report that my previous employer sent in, and basically my name is clear. When I tell you guys that was a huge weight, like all I can do is cry and praise the Lord, because you know there are situations where you can do the right thing and your name is not cleared. And so I was like, okay, God, you know, I did the right thing in my mind. You know, I did whatever I need to do based on my education and training. Like, I don't understand why this is happening with everything else that is happening. And so he said to me, you know, just trust me. Whatever the outcome is, trust me. And Jay and I, we did a show when we first started called All Things Work Together. He's like, just trust me. I said, okay, now I'm trusting you, but I'm also a little, you know, anxious. Lord Jesus, because, you know, having that on my record, you know, could really affect my career choices, where I go, you know, because when you do a background check, that will come up. So fortunately, it's clear, and that was just a weight lifted. But the reason why we are talking about tonight's topic, at least for me, before that weight was lifted, it's more important about it was more important to me rather about what I did until that weight was lifted. Now I'm going to tell you guys, I didn't let it consume me. Now it would come to my mind every now and again, and I would just kind of put it back to God, give it back to Him, because you know sometimes we'll hold on to stuff. It'll just drive you completely crazy. Now y'all know I already take medication.
And please keep taking it.
Oh my God, let me tell y'all. So I accidentally, when I say accidentally, just out of pure laziness, I didn't go pick up my prescription for 3 days.
And I'm sure it's right down the street.
I could walk. You know, right there to Walgreens. Y'all, I woke up this morning with the shakes, sweating. Yeah, I was sweating, girl. I was sweating. I had the shakes, dizzy. I felt
Foolishness.
like, let me tell you, I couldn't think straight.
And then
And
you
something
realize.
something said.
Yeah, keep calling them something.
I said, Lord, I'm going through withdrawal.
And how many times a day do you pass? In and out,
yes,
in and out.
Yes. So let me tell y'all, when I went to the pharmacy, right, that girl was looking at me like I was crazy.
Was you up there sweating and shaking and carrying on?
She was like, what is your address? I said, my address.
See, I would have thought you wasn't who you said you were.
Listen, I'm so surprised. No, she saw my ID because I couldn't remember my address. I was I was like, Lord, she ain't gonna give me this. I said, if she don't give me these meds, I'm gonna jump over this counter. But anyway, I say all that to say, it was a very traumatic experience. And so while I was waiting for that weight to be lifted, of course, I was still taking my meds up until 3 days ago by accident. I just really had to trust that God was going to really bring me through this thing. And so I was thinking about people that have been wrongly accused, and they spent all of this time behind bars. And fortunately for me, it wasn't a situation where I had to go to jail or anything, although I have been there before. That's another show.
Bro, I'm going to spit this drink out. Oh my God, I had to keep myself together. You need to stop. And I know that's true, but my God, I did not. I'm not surprised that you said that, though. Yes, this crowd has been. She has been to jail. And I just recently found it out myself.
So listen, guys, it's so good that I'm able to laugh because it was a lot of tears shed behind this whole incident. And so I am just like, listen, it just reminded me of the story, Jay, with Joseph, where he was falsely accused and was thrown into prison and and that. But that had to happen for God to exalt him. And then he became like governor over the whole land of Egypt. So I'm not bitter. I was frustrated and upset, but for the folks that did their job at the agency, I guess they did their job to the best that they could do. But I also say, be careful about God's anointed ones, because the word says, touch not my anointed ones. And I'm not perfect by no means. Lord knows I got some flaws, and if you open up my closet, you might drown in my skeletons. But, I say this with the boldness and confidence in Jesus, that I am anointed in areas that I have not shared with you guys yet. That I'm working through and trying to operate in those gifts. But you have to be careful with people's lives. There was much loss behind that for me. A lot.
People have no idea.
You just never know how a situation, especially if you're not doing a really good, in this particular situation, I just think that the original investigation was not as thorough. It didn't have to go to the state, but it did, and I guess it is part of God's plan. It had to, so that the right person could, I guess, say, exonerate me, even though I wasn't in prison, but clear my name. So I thank God for that, and I have moved on, and I actually have moved on for that career. I plan not to return. But we'll see.
You're not returning. You're not returning.
But that actual situation actually scared me, so to speak, into pursuing my dreams. Because I believe that if I had stayed in that job, or even have looked for another job, because like I told you guys, I had been looking for a job even before that happened, that I would have just stayed in what was comfortable.
Yeah.
And so what Jay and I are doing now is very scary.
Very scary.
For lack of a word. I mean, we are stepping out on some big faith.
Big faith.
And so, you listen, I want people to be free. I don't have no shame in sharing. I've had to ask people for help. I remember I was driving down the road. I said, Jay, I need some gas.
And what did I do? How much? And cash staffed it to her.
So I can get home.
Because I ain't going to have my girl out there in the street like that.
So, we can plan our lives. We can get all the education in the world, the best jobs in the world. But when life happens, it happens. And so, listen, I've had to call on people. I've had to ask for money to help pay this, pay that. Every month, Nissan about to take my car.
But it's still out in the parking lot. I mean, I'm just saying.
I got 5 more payments.
That's been, what, a year and a half now, right?
Girl, let me tell you, I've had to extend and extend and extend.
But when that happened, that was April of 2020.
Yeah, it was a while.
Yeah, so, April of 2020.
I'm saying this, and listen, I have Jay, when all this went down, only 3 people really knew what was going on, which was my pastor, Jay, and my dad. Because I was kind of embarrassed. No, I was embarrassed.
So you actually kept that a secret?
Girl, shit.
That sounds like something Jay would do. 3 people only knew about this. Oh my God, I'm so surprised.
Yes.
The world know.
I didn't. I'm letting them know now.
Yes, timing is everything.
But I think I'm pretty sure I would have let you guys know even if the decision had gone another way, because I do believe that even if it had gone another way, that God still would have brought me out on the other side. So while I was in that situation, it was very uncomfortable. It actually, in hindsight, was needed because I wouldn't be sitting here before you today. And also I think about, being that Jay and I are now in the public eye and we're international, who knows what new devil is going to appear where I need to deal with it on another level, which in the name of Jesus,
that's not going to happen.
We're not going to have that. Yes.
You're covered. You're fine.
So that's my story. And I know I have sister friends that are so close and dear to my heart. And I just ask you guys for the grace just to understand why I didn't share it with you guys when it happened, because I just needed it for it to be. Oh, and I didn't want to have to tell the story 25,000 times.
And then they'll be asking you, have you heard anything from the state yet? Have you heard anything from the state yet? You're going to jail? Is it going to be on your background? Yeah. No. So that's why I don't tell people stuff, because I don't know what the outcome's going to be. So regardless if it's good or bad, you ain't know, I ain't got to tell you nothing.
So, for some of the individuals who I have asked for, assistance, whether it was financial or otherwise, and you probably in the back of your head like, what is going on? Is she smoking crack?
So crazy.
No, I'm not smoking crack. Thought about it. No, I'm kidding. Nah, I did not think about smoking crack. This is why, I'm in a very tough season right now, and I know I'm going to come out of it, but it's a season that God has ordained for my life right now, and without it I wouldn't be here. And so, what you see before you each week is out of prayers. Johnette and I have a hair and nail ministry.
Yes, we do. That we have to keep up. Woo.
It is not easy.
No, it's not. But we're going to make it happen.
But we are blessed.
Yes, we are.
We got to look like something in front of y'all.
We have to. Come on.
I can't look broke in front of you.
Because we're not broke. We're just in between blessings.
Yes.
I am so serious.
Look, we're beautifully broke. But you know what? I'm not even going to claim that. I'm not broke like she
we're
said.
In between blessings.
We're in between
blessings. We are in between
So for those of you who do have my Cash App,
you're going to say it
Go on and bless me.
Go on and say it out loud. Girl, what's your Cash App?
Oh, my Cash App is $YaShinya, which is my government name.
You need to spell it for them.
YA, S as in Sam, HEE, N as in Nancy, YA. So when this finally gets out, and for those of you who may not watch the show, and if you hear it through
the grapevine,
my answer to you is going to be like, go back and watch the show.
Thanks for your support. Thanks for your support.
And then you'll know why. Because I'm not telling this story again outside of this platform here.
Again.
Because it is behind me. Praise
the Lord. It is behind her. It is behind her.
So, I'm just glad it's behind me. And, when I talked to Jay about it, I said I'm going to share.
Yes.
She's like, I'm not surprised.
At all. And the show is a weight lifted, because that's what it was. So, you have weights, which we all know what weights are. We know that they are heavy, contingent upon how many pounds you choose to lift. And those were some pounds that you didn't choose. Those were some weights that you didn't choose, but you didn't have to lift it. The Lord did.
Come on.
The Lord lifted those weights for you. So the stress and the strain and the heaviness and the burden, you didn't have a choice but to give it to God. So when he spoke to you and told you, you need to leave. See, the people on the back end, and what came to me, y'all, when you was explaining the story and telling me the story, it's like I heard, know the people that labor among you.
Come on.
So those people that you have been, working with for all that time, they knew that, and you didn't have to give us like concrete details because you can't, because of HIPAA information and health protective information. So we understand all of that. Those that work in the medical field and those that work in social services, there are some things that you cannot share. And so therefore you didn't have to go into detail, but the people that labored among you, the people that worked with you, and for how many ever years that you worked at that job or within the state, they knew what happened and they knew that you didn't do it. So I find it strange, but not so strange, that all of this happened when you was on vacation. Okay, because how is it that you get fired on your day off? I'm just joking. Friday. Anyway. So to me, that already sounded underhanded, because how your name is coming up and all these things are being done behind your back and you're not even present. You're not even there to defend yourself. But see, the Lord already knew that these things was going on behind the scenes.
Mm-hmm.
And so therefore it was an advantage to them for you to just like cut yourself off and just go ahead and not stay there, because therefore to them that probably made you feel guilty. And they felt like it gave you the upper, or it gave them the upper hand. So then they wouldn't allow you to be eligible for unemployment.
Mm-hmm.
But see, at the end of the day, that happened in April of 2020. We are now in November of 2021, and we are in her place, and lights are on. The air is running because it's like 75 degrees today. But I mean, her apartment is clean. I've been in the refrigerator. She has food. So at the end of the day, what they meant for bad, it did nothing but made things better for you. So it doesn't matter that you had to reach out to your village to ask for gas money or to help with assistance or to call and ask for an extension on your car payment. Because regardless of that, the Lord showed you that the job is not your source. He is.
My God.
So therefore, he gave you the resources, the people, the connections, the provision, and the faith to do what we're doing today.
Mm.
And so therefore, if that never would have happened to you, like you said, you wouldn't have been here because you was comfortable working for the state. You was comfortable, being in a management position and, being a program manager and making the good money that you made. Now, yes, you struggle. We all struggle.
Mm-hmm.
People that are millionaires still struggle. They might not struggle with tangible things, but they could struggle within their health. They could struggle within their mind. So at the end of the day, it's not about money. Money is not going to save us for everything. Money is not going to solve all our problems. Your background was not destroyed, although that job wanted your background to be destroyed.
Mm-hmm.
But the Lord is letting you know, thank you for walking away. Thank you for being obedient. Thank you for listening to me, because now you're on a platform that this is where I wanted you to go. This is where I want you to be. And you're not going to go back to that because we're going to be here.
Come on.
So,
and we're going to be in Germany.
Yes, we're going to be in Germany. I mean, so I just have to say to the people, know the people who labor among you. I don't know why I'm going this way, but know the people who labor among you. Watch people. Watch how people treat you. Watch what people say to you. And hear what people say. And I'm the type of person that I listen to what you say, but I also can hear what you don't say. And if you're working for a company, and they don't have your back, see it for what it is and take it for what it is. And just know that when something happens, don't be surprised, because some of these businesses and some of these jobs, they're out here, for them. They don't care about your opinions. They don't care how you feel. Sometimes they don't care about, your ideas. They just want you to just work and just, do whatever, you want to do. And I like to work for a place that cares about how I feel,
Mm-hmm.
that cares about what bothers me or what matters to me. And I'm not saying like I'm going in a job, and I'm on my soapbox. No. But at the end of the day, we all have lives. And sometimes some jobs just don't like change. They just want to keep doing the same thing the same old way. And I like change if it's effective.
Right.
It has to be effective. So I don't have a problem with change, but I just believe and I just know that the Lord told you to leave right on time. And he already knew that you were going to have to reach out to your village. But again, that lets you know who your people are.
Mm-hmm.
And whenever you asked me for anything, no matter what it was, I never asked you why you need it. I never made you feel bad for what you needed it for. When somebody asks you and they genuinely, their character, their background, and if they need it, don't make them already feel bad, because it takes a lot to ask people. I can't stand to ask anybody for anything. Now, if I come up to you and say, I need $5, let's be honest, you guys, $5 is not any money. Now, you can go to Wendy's with the $5 and get you a 4 for $4. And there's nothing wrong with a 4 for $4.
Mm-hmm.
But one, I really ain't been eating Wendy's like that. I mean, it ain't nothing wrong with them, but I just kind of been steering away a little bit from fast food. But I mean, I'm just, well, you know, when I go somewhere and get something to eat, I don't necessarily want to get a 4 for 4, you know. But if I have to get one, then that means my money is really tight. Like if I have to get one. I'm not saying anything is wrong with a 4 for 4. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that that's a meal that's real cheap and that you can get by. But at the end of the day, if somebody come up and like, yo, I need to borrow $5, that person really needs some money.
Right.
And you should not make that person feel bad because they are in a bad situation at that particular time.
Especially if they never ask for anything.
Never ask for anything. Now we know we got Pookie in them.
Who always asking.
We got some Pookies in our life. And you know Pookie ain't worked and I don't know when. And you know Pookie got this track record and this track record. Every now and again, going to give Pookie the $5. Just going to give it to him. But for the most part, seriously, you guys, when somebody comes up to you and you know their character, you know their background, you know what they're about. If they're in a bind, if they're in a hard time, and if you can help them, do so. Because the one thing I cannot stand, and I have some people that do it. Girl, you know such and such called me and she asked me for $20.
Yes.
Don't do that.
Yes, please. And I'm pretty confident that my village
don't do that.
Has not done that because these are folks I've been friends with for years.
Right.
And I've even had folks, like I have this one particular, as my sister would say, because she's so country, friend girl.
Mm-hmm.
We can go months, maybe a year or so, and not speak. But as soon as we speak, it's like we hadn't missed a beat.
That's right.
And, you know, I let her know that I needed X, Y, and Z without hesitation. You know, she sent it. So, you know, you need folks like that in your life. And, you know, when I went through this situation, because Jay know I have a ministry where I'm always helping out the people that I see on the streets. And even in this season, I have
still
done
doing it. Just did it a couple of weeks ago.
You don't know their story. Because like I said to you guys, you know, fortunate for me, you know, when this whole situation went down and now my name is clear, you know, I have a bachelor's degree, I have a master's degree. I was actually on track to get my doctorate, but mommy got sick and then passed. So I kept that on, it's still on hold. And, you know, I don't even know if I'm going to pursue it right now because I'm done with this field.
Oh, so you was going to get your...
So it was within the field.
Okay. Okay.
So, things happen to me. And so, you know, don't frown up. And fortunately for me, I was able to hold on to my home, able to hold on to my car and other things that I've needed. You know, there's some things that I've had to, that I'm actually not able to attend to right now because I just can't. And so, of course, my credit is in the tank.
That's all right. But honey, we have favor.
But yeah, favor. You know, God can do
better
anything.
than anything. So I'm just saying.
So, you know, and I'm sharing my story just so folks can be free. You know, there's no shame. Life happens. I don't care who you are. You can be the president of the United. I mean, you can be whomever.
That's right.
Life can happen. So don't, as my country family member, don't get too high on that horse because you might fall off.
Yeah. I'm serious. You better be humble.
You know, because there's one time I was making close to 6 figures. Now I'm making 3 figures.
That's all right. You still got a roof over your head.
Thank you, Jesus.
I'm just saying. So, I mean, you all right? Okay, you gonna make it?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
I've already had COVID, so I don't think that's what it is. Anyway, so yes, don't frown upon people when you see folks. Because when I lived in New York, I encountered numerous, you know, folks that lived on the streets and things like that, and I would hear their stories. These are people with brilliant minds. I mean, they had careers, but life happened. And that's where they ended up. So, you know, I have a special place in my heart for folks that are homeless and apparently people that have disabled vehicles.
She's out directing traffic. All of that.
So anyway, guys, listen, it was such a weight lifted off of me on yesterday. I can move forward knowing that my name is clear.
Yes. Yeah.
And so whoever is in a situation similar, if you're waiting, and it may not even be about your name being clear, it could just be that thing that you are waiting for God to just break for you, or that thing to break for you. It's all about God's timing. Did I want it to take as long as it took? No. But I believe it needed to take that long because I needed the right person on my case. And so I sent her a little email, letting her know that I appreciate her thoroughness, if that's a word. But yeah, so guys, that weight is going to be lifted. It is. It's not going to stay there. It's going to be removed. And so that's my story.
And I just had a vision. So you know how when someone's bench pressing and they have the person behind them spotting them,
right?
And they pass it off to them when it get too heavy.
Come on.
That's God. That's God. And the person is laying on their back. So, you know, when you're laying on your back and you're holding something, I mean, you're kind of vulnerable. You know?
Yeah.
You're in a place to where you can't hold that weight and you can't do it by yourself. So the Lord is standing behind you. And although you have the heaviness on you, you have the burden on you, you have the weight on you, God is right behind you, spotting you.
Come on.
And just ready for you to drop that weight on him. And then you just get up and you walk away and you just leave the weight behind.
Come on.
Leave the weights right there in the gym and you just walk away. And my motto, y'all, that I use all the time when I'm talking to myself, because I do talk to myself about stuff. And Pastor C last week just said, you mutter his word. You meditate. You talk to yourself. I talk to myself. And y'all can think I'm crazy if you want to, but I talk to myself. And so as I'm talking to myself, and when I start to get, you know how Johnette get, because you know, okay, I got to take care of this today, and I got to do this.
The planner.
And I got to do this. Okay, and then before I leave, I got to do this. And then I hear the voice say, Johnette, Jay, you do what you can.
I just burped. I hope y'all didn't hear that.
Well, I mean, I don't think they did until you said. I didn't even hear it, and I'm sitting beside you. Put that cup down. So
get a recipe. Is what she told me.
Please. So what I do is I hear my little voice. Jay, you do what you're supposed to do, and I'll take care of the rest. So that person that's trying to bench press, and they got all that weight on their shoulders because they're thinking about this, so they're taking, is it the dumbbells or whatever those things are, and they're putting it on the bar, and they're putting it on the bar, and then they get over on this side, and they're putting it on the bar, and then they lay down because they're vulnerable, and they put themselves in that position, and they're just lifting, and they're pushing, and they can't hold all that weight by themselves. You can't do it. So thank the Lord that he is behind you and that he is spotting you. And then when you decide to cast all your cares and your burdens on him, let the weights go, leave it on the bench, get up and walk away.
Come on, thug
and
for
I
Jesus.
Promise you, like y'all did, that's what she had to do. She moved on with her life. She worked on her dreams and her aspirations, and this is one of them, and she's working on a couple that I even know about that she ain't said yet, but I ain't going to tell it. But anyway, and so today or yesterday, she received an email, and the weight has been lifted. So the analogy that I gave you guys, that's real life. People go in and they have a spot, they bench press, and you have to trust that person that's behind you too.
Yes.
That's going to hold those weights for you or either spot you when it's getting too heavy after you done put all those things on the bars that you're trying to bench press and you're trying to carry and all that type of stuff. You have to trust that person. So y'all, you trusted God when you heard the voice said leave. Because see, you were already lightweight, embarrassed a little bit with the way that they went about doing it. So you needed to go ahead and leave. So on the back end, yes, they probably thought, oh, she's guilty. That's why she went ahead and put her notice in and, oh, we're just going to. No, you were just being obedient because if you didn't, then God really would have put you in a place to where you would have been embarrassed and it really could have been worse. No, I'm being serious.
It's not funny. Girl, I'm laughing to keep from crying. You know I'm a crybaby.
Go on and cry. Go Yeah, you need some Kleenex. But no, it's
Girl.
I mean no, but this is real. Like you have to let those things that are beyond our control. And then when you have people that think like certain things about you and they don't even know you, like because I hear it all the time. Oh, she's standoffish, or oh, she don't really seem to be so friendly, or oh, she thinks she all that. It's like, huh?
I've never gotten that about you.
I used to hear that all the time, and sometimes I still hear it, and I'm just like, no.
That's far from the truth, guys.
But see, what it is though, I'm very observant. Like I don't like sometimes when I first meet people.
Yeah, she's gonna scope out the like Caleb and Joshua.
Listen,
she's gonna scope the land out before she,
I am. I'm not gonna just dive on in. I got the.
Now me on another.
Oh, she just telling it all, telling it all. But we just have to cast our cares and cast our burdens onto God. So just keep that analogy as that came to me.
That was good.
That when you're laying down, you're vulnerable. And when you're carrying on all that weight, you need to have a spar. Ain't that what they call it? A spot.
A spot. I think it's a spot.
A spot person or something
Sparring
like that.
is when you boxing, homie.
Oh, sorry.
There was a time in my life where I wanted to be a boxer. Another show.
Okay, Layla. So just keep that analogy in mind, you guys, that God is our spot person. God has our back, and He is going to take great care of us if we allow Him. And if you don't listen to Him, He will put you in a position that you wish you did.
Come on, Jonah.
And then you will be
in the belly of the fish.
Right, embarrassed in the belly of the fish.
Yes.
So, y'all, I'm super excited for you. I am so glad that your name is cleared. I wouldn't have thought anything different. Sometimes people try to, sabotage your character and try to, sabotage your name, but unfortunately they didn't. And whoever that company was at that time, they know that they were wrong. Whoever that was behind it, the Lord is going to take care of them. The Lord is going to take care of them because He knows conversations and things that happen behind our backs that we have no clue about. He knows when people are plotting and when they are planning, and He allows certain things to happen, but He didn't allow you to get destroyed.
Oh,
so you're good.
I'm about to slide off this chair.
You're good. You might. So the smoke is gone.
And it's also a weight lifted by me sharing this right now because, I'm believing folks getting free and not being ashamed. And also just the people who are near and dear to my heart that I didn't share. Sometimes people are like, oh, thought we were close. Why didn't you tell me? It's just something that I just didn't want to share. Like I didn't even, like I said, I didn't even share it with my sister and my brother, only my dad. So if they're watching the show, that's what happened.
Yeah, and they understand. They understand.
So that it's off my chest. I'm actually okay. I mean, God has really shown up for me in this season. Like Jay said, I have a roof over my head, my lights are on, I got food in the fridge.
And the air conditioning is on.
It is pumping
now, like on 71.
Because I am perimenopause or in menopause, and I'm always hot. But listen, I've had to ask for assistance. Listen, pride will get you nowhere.
You have not because you asked not.
And so, for my peeps that's listening, this is why I have been in your pockets.
That's right. But they never asked. And that's a good thing. They never questioned on why you were calling for the assistance. And I know for a fact in my heart that you've gone without and have not said anything to anybody about some things. And you just thugged it out. And the Lord still provided.
And I do want to give a shout out to my son's dad. His only responsibility is to Aiden, but he has been a real one.
Yep.
Because there's some things I have asked of him that had nothing to do with Aiden, and he stepped up to the plate. So, you know, I have as well as Aiden's grandparents on his dad's side. So, you know, I really appreciate everything, and I'm so humble.
Yes.
I'm so grateful, and I just thank God that you know, I mean, what I've gone through you know, lost my, I mean, this is 2018, lost my mom, then this happened. I mean, I have just had a
like a
rough,
domino
yes,
effect.
just a rough 3-4 years.
Mm-hmm. But you made it.
And so it didn't take me out. And so I'm here.
Yeah.
So guys, you can get through it. You just got to tough it out. And I know it's like, oh, it's easier said than done.
No, it's not.
You can do it, especially if you got some people in your corner.
Yes.
The J's in your life, the Pastor C's in your life. You know, my girls from up top. You know, that's what we say. You know, my girls from New York, you know.
Can we down south?
You know, just everybody just been, you know, coming through for me. Girls from down south, you just my people, you know. So even my family, my little big bro, he's probably like, girl, you call me one more time about some money. I got my own family. So Matthew, that's why I've been in your pockets. You in Marilyn's pockets.
but
sorry. But not sorry.
But yeah, I can say now, and I'm getting ready to bring back a memory, and I do want to put this publicly and thank you publicly. It was some years ago, and this is when I first started going to our church. And I hadn't been knowing y'all that long, and Chase walked up, and Chase was just talking to me. I don't know what she was asking me at the time. And y'all looked at me, and she said, do you not know you got $1 million child? And I'm just looking at her like, I'm like, what? What are you talking about? And she gets on the phone with me, and she's like, listen, I got this agent. I want you to talk to her. I'm going to come over to your house. We're going to, you know, fill out this application. And she's telling me, don't worry about the price. Don't worry about the application fee. Don't worry about, you know, the fee for the agent. We're going to do a photo shoot. We're going to do this. Listen, I paid absolutely not one dime. YaYa paid for it all. She paid for the photo shoot. She paid for the application. She got everything set up with the agent. And Chase ended up landing a commercial. And y'all went with us to New York and traveled the highways and the byways. And we stayed in the hotel. And we had a great time. And because of YaYa, my daughter ended up having an experience of doing reels and you know, doing voiceovers and all that kind of stuff. And of course, you know, Chase, you know, ended up saying, okay, Mom, this is not what I want to do. We even went to America's Got Talent because of Ya. We drove to South Carolina.
Sure did.
That's what I'm saying. And so it's because of her that all of that happened. She saw something in Chase. And granted, we're not saying that just because Chase stopped doing that portion of, you know, the acting and the singing and all that kind of stuff, because all of that is still in her. It's just that she's a teenager now. But y'all saw something and she planted a seed. And so y'all, because you planted that seed in Chase, that's why people planted so many seeds for you during the time that you're still dealing with, you're still going through the unemployment piece. But God didn't allow you to fail. God didn't allow you to lose anything. So I know that because you sowed into my life and because you sowed into my daughter's life,
I'm about to cry.
that the Lord saw fit that when you lacked, people made sure that you were taken care of. And so publicly I say, y'all sowed into my life in a time that she saw something in my daughter that I'm not going to say I didn't have a clue about, but I wasn't able to move. And again, you guys, it's not about what you know, it's who you know. And she connected Chase with this agent, and I really feel like Chase should have got more parts than what she got. But I mean, who am I? But anyway, Chase, you guys, even we went to Louisiana because of her. For her to try out for That So Raven, remember?
Yes.
You see what I'm saying? So, see, you forgot about all of that.
I did.
Yeah. So sometimes God has to put you back in a place to remind you. So I think that that's what he did on yesterday. When that letter was sent to you, that everything was cleared, he's bringing back to your remembrance on all the great things that you've done for other people. So I wanted to say that publicly, you guys. This girl is connected to so many different people, to so many different things. And she sold into my baby's life. And we went to New York. We went to Louisiana. We went to where do we go? Somewhere close to Charlotte.
I forgot about all that.
Remember?
I don't remember nothing.
That's what I'm talking about. But remember when Chase was in
Yes,
Shots Fired?
Yes.
And she was in the beginning of the part when it first came on and all that kind of stuff. That's what I'm saying. So,
oh Lord, I forgot all about
I'm telling you. And we stayed up countless nights, with Chris doing the remember that night, and Chase kept forgetting.
But that morning she hit it.
She hit it like it was nothing.
And she landed the road.
And we went to New York. So if y'all want to look up, what is it called? The Floaty Kid?
Yeah.
Chase was about 8 years. Yeah, it's on YouTube. It's called The Floaty Kid. And Chase did a commercial for the Y in New York. And it's because of YaYa. I mean, and she paid for everything. The only thing she did was just told me, Johnette, she need these outfits, She never told me how much anything cost. When I would ask, she would ignore me like she didn't hear me. And she took care of everything. So y'all, I'm saying it publicly. That is why the Lord continues to bless you, is because the seeds and the things that you have sowed in the past, they have been watered. And although it is the fall, although it is the winter, some things still bloom. And your gifts are going to continue to make room for you because you continue to sow into people. And so what God meant for you is for you. And I'm saying that publicly. And I love you. So this is your time. This is your time. So you guys, we thank you so much for joining us on today.
Yes, I ugly cry.
That's all right. But it's real, you guys. It's real. And a weight has been lifted. A weight has been lifted. And a weight can be lifted for you. So just remember, give all your cares to God, and he will continue to take care of you.
Yes, thank you guys.
Thanks for joining us. We love you guys, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.